Anh để xíu nữa cho vô rồi. Đó. OK đi, bấm OK đi. Đúng rồi, bấm trên cùng.
Sao có cái em nhưng mình mở cái này nó vô cái em.
Sao kỳ vậy? Thì thôi anh tắt ra. Trong tắt ra đi. Cái này nó đang cái này. Có mùi sáo vừa trôi rồi.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Bridgewater, can you hear me? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, I can hear you, Your
All
Honor.
right, just want to be sure. Thank you. And what's our reset date for today?
September. Oh my God.
Yep, that would
I'm
be.
all off today. February the 6th.
All right, got it. Thank
Apologize,
you.
everybody.
It's okay. On those rainy day blues. Oh,
Yes.
all right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and we are going to begin with our misdemeanor calendar. This is called the Expedited Accusation Calendar. These are misdemeanor cases filed with the State Court of Fulton County. Once a defendant has been charged and arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail, the case has then been formally accused by the prosecutor, which is the Solicitor General's Office of Fulton County. This would be the defendant's initial appearance before a judicial officer. At this time, when I call your case, I will let you know what is your new accusation number, what are the charges brought against you, appoint counsel to represent you if you cannot afford one or you do not have one present today, as well as set a bond if one has not been previously set in your case or if a bond modification is warranted. With regards to your bonds, some of you may qualify for what we call a signature bond, either through the jail or through pretrial services. A signature bond means that presently, in order to be released, you do not have to pay for the bond, but you would have to comply with the conditions of the bond in order to maintain the signature status. If you violate the terms of your signature bond, that bond will then be converted to a surety bond or a cash bond. Some of you may qualify for a surety or cash bond if a signature bond is not granted. A surety or cash bond is one that you would have to pay for the bond, either out of your own pocket or through a bonding company. Bonding companies typically charge about 10 to 15% of the total bond amount. And with regards to a surety or cash bond, you may also have to abide with certain conditions. If you are a defendant charged with one or more misdemeanor offenses, please remember your rights. The first one is the right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. This entire proceeding is virtual, but it is being recorded and live streamed. So please be mindful and only speak with your attorney. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Courtroom 2, who do we have, please?
We have position number 1, Ms. Butler.
All right. This is Courtney Butler, charged with theft by taking in accusation number 24 CR 457A. The allegation is the offense took place on January 13th, 2024 in Fulton County, Georgia. Ms. Butler, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Hoda Atay. Mr. Howard, any priors?
Second arrest, 01 suspended license.
All right, thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Very brief facts of the case is that the defendant was caught on security footage at a racetrack located at 2250 Camp Creek Parkway, College Park, taking an employee's iPhone 12, which was valued at $300. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, Deidra Banks, D-E-I-D-R-A, Banks, B-A-N-K-S. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She states that she does not know the defendant. She's never seen her before. And stated that she never received her phone back actually as a result of this. She does not wish to have any contact, and she wants her to stay away from that racetrack. And I do believe Ms. Banks may be on the call, so if we could sound for her at the conclusion of the state's request. Given the nature of the criminal history and the nature of the charge, the state's request is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with Ms. Banks, and a stay away from that racetrack.
Mr. Atay, any comment about the stay away or no contact?
No, no objections to any of the state's requests.
All right. Ms. Deidra Banks, if you're on Zoom, you need to unmute and start your video, only if you want to contribute to the hearing. All right, bond is going to be set at $1,000. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. Ms. Butler is to stay away from the racetrack store on Camp Creek Parkway and have no contact with Deidra Banks. She's to stay 200 yards away from Ms. Banks and not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and your next court date will be set to your current mailing address. If you change your address, you need to make sure the court knows of any changes in your mailing address. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was a signature bond through
Pretrial.
trial?
Yes.
Next, we have position number 4, Ms. Coleman.
Heaven Coleman is accused of battery, family violence from January 22nd, 2024 in accusation 24 CR 460D. Ms. Coleman, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Atay. I'm sorry, is there someone on Motorola who's trying to speak? All right, let's go ahead and mute that panel, please. All right. Yes, Mr. Howard?
2022, arrest out of car, theft by deception, dismissed.
Thank you.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, 2024, the officer was dispatched to the incident location of 183 Mount Zion Road, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, for a domestic violence call. The officer arrived and spoke with the victim, Damon, D-E-M-O-N, Barden, B-A-R-D-E-N, who advised that his child's mother was intoxicated, and they began to argue, or she began to argue with him, better yet, and pulled his hair out of his scalp. The defendant herself admitted to being intoxicated and admitted to pulling the victim's hair. Both parties reside at the address and share an infant child together. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. The victim states that the defendant and the victim are not in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. They do share a child together. He has confirmed the events in the warrant. I do believe that he's on the call, so we will allow him to sound at the appropriate time. But the recommendation from the state in this case is a signature bond through the pretrial services. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no violent contact with the victim in this case, and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
Okay. Mr. Tay, any comment?
Yes, Your Honor. I do believe that the complaining witness is on the line, but I will go ahead and say my client is a 21-year-old mother of that infant child. She's lived in Georgia since she was 5 years old. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. She states that she is the one who called the police. The complaining witness also confirmed that she is the one who called the police. She's recommended UJR1. So I'm asking for, well, I don't object to the state's request for a signature bond through pretrial services. She has no criminal history.
Anything else?
Yes, we're fine with no further violent contact also.
No? The bond is going to be set at 1,500. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. Ms. Coleman, you qualify for a signature bond, but you must comply with the following conditions in order to maintain the signature status. You may return to the Mount Zion Road location. You are to have no violent contact with Damon Barden. Is that correct? Damon Barden?
Barden, B-A-R-D-E-N.
Yeah. Which means that you cannot have any future physical or verbal altercations that might get the police involved again. Otherwise, you'll find yourself arrested and back in jail with no bond or with a very high cash bond. While you are out on a signature bond, you report to pretrial once a month. You cannot afford to get arrested again. You are to complete a 1-day anger awareness program with pretrial services, and you shall submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation with a healthcare provider. That must be done within 30 days of being released. You will show proof of this evaluation to your pretrial officer by your second visit. That's it. Thank you.
Next, we have position number 5, Mr. Collins.
Bryant Collins is accused of battery family violence from January 21st, 2024, case number 24CR462B. Mr. Collins, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney will be Ms. Atay. Any priors, Mr. Howell?
6 total. Last arrest was last year, ag assault. That's the pre-trial bond. It's 23 CP 224010. 2022 battery dismissed, and he got some DUIs in the system.
Got a brief facts of the case is that on January 21st, 2004, the officer responded to 6207 Santa Fe Parkway, Sandy Springs, Georgia 30350, which is separate from the incident location, which is actually 7840 Roswell Road, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. They responded there in reference to a domestic dispute. The victim explained that while she was laying in bed in her apartment or in their apartment, that's when her husband, the defendant, walked inside. The victim stated that the defendant had been drinking alcohol and was heavily intoxicated. Once the defendant walked into the bedroom, he allegedly climbed on top of the victim and began to strike her in the face, neck, and jaw with his hands. The victim stated that the defendant hit her with his palm, with an open palm, continuously striking her side to side. The victim attempted to get the accused off of her. However, she was unable to do so. Eventually, he finally stopped striking her when he went to bed. The victim stated that once he went to bed, she told a close friend of hers to come over. It was determined based on her injuries that obviously the defendant was the primary aggressor. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. She advised that her and the defendant are married. They live together at the incident location. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She states that the defendant has a drinking problem and needs help with that drinking problem. She stated that this is not the first time it's happened. She stated that she is the victim and the defendant. They have previous cases, 22CR00648-2H. And they also have an open case, 23CP224010 from last month, which is the aggravated assault case. I'd like to notate, Your Honor, that is an open case. It is for ag assault. On that case, he received initially a no bond and a no further contact. That was amended on, looks like December 11, 2000. I'm sorry, that was amended on January 4, 2024, just so fairly recently. That was amended to a no further violent contact. In the original bond, he was also instructed to have, I'm sorry, that's a different case. I also like to point out that she's also the same victim in a 2022 battery family violence that was ultimately null pros. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, because there's a serious concern for the safety of the victim in this case, is a $7,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from that incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And we'd also like for him to complete alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment as necessary. If we could sound for the victim in this case, Miss Jessie Cullens.
Well, I see a Nicole Cullens, so I'm not sure. Miss Cullens, what's your name, please?
I apologize for that. My name is Jessie Nicole.
All right, if
I
you
did not know how to change it.
That's okay. If you'd like to raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long has Mr. Cullens been back with you at the Roswell location?
It's been a couple of weeks.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Only that
If you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. You can always speak to victim advocate. I just give an opportunity for individuals to allocate what they want.
I've set my own boundaries, regardless of what the state decides. I've told him that he will not be allowed back in our home until he is 6 months sober on his own accord. This is really a story about alcoholism and possibly undiagnosed mental illness. When he is sober, he is an amazing man. He needs help. And I'm going to do everything I can to protect myself. But he needs help.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, briefly, I neglected to mention that he was ordered to undergo ADET in the previous case, the aggravated assault case.
Yeah, I've got that bond order open. Thank you. Ms. Satay, anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 41 years old. He does have 2 minor children. He has been gainfully employed for the last 10 years as an automotive technician. He's graduated from high school. He does have some conditions, including alcoholism. He does have an ADET scheduled for at the end of this month, because the complaining witness has stated that, well, she told me she wants no further violent contact with him so that they can go to counseling together, but I'll leave that up to the court's discretion for the contact provisions and the stay away. But I would ask, he's recommended a UJR level 2, so I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services level 2.
Thank you. Yeah, I was reading the ag assault pleadings as well, and the bond order, and Mr. Cullens has just been out of jail since January 5th of this year, and he's back with us again, plus the nature of the 2023 aggravated assault case involving the same victim. I find that Mr. Cullens poses an imminent threat to the victim in this case, and clearly may have some serious concerns about his ability to control his intake of alcohol. Judge Drake found that Mr. Cullens qualified for a 10% signature bond based on his history of no felony convictions, no history of FTAs, and that the victim apparently wanted contact and is not opposed to that bond. But clearly, this was about 2 weeks ago, and now we have a whole different situation. Mr. Cullens, your bond is going to be set at $10,000. That's going to be a cash bond only. You are to have no further contact with Jessie Nicole Cullens. You're not to return to the location at 7840 Roswell Road in Atlanta, Georgia. If you wish to retrieve your personal belongings, you're allowed a one-time visit with a police officer to retrieve your personal belongings. Any visitation with your minor children must be supervised and by a third party.
Your Honor, the children are not, they don't share children together.
I know, and that's the reason I'm doing this, is because I'm going to require Mr. Cullens to definitely undergo a alcohol and drug evaluation and submit to all treatment that is required. If Ms. Cullens wishes to file a separation or a divorce action, she can definitely get a superior court order to set forth visitation or custody. But presently, if he is in the presence of the children, he must not only be sober, but it must be supervised. because of his history of violence and the alleged history of alcohol abuse. I am very concerned about the safety of the children in his presence. His next court date is going to be February 6th at 9 a.m. at the SAP calendar. Thank you. Next case, please.
Position number 8, Mr. Honeycutt.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Fine, thank you. Mr. Shadid Honeycutt is case 24CR 463J, charged with battery, family violence from July 1st, 2023. Mr. Honeycutt, you've also been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be
Keith Cook, Your Honor.
Mr. Keith Cook. Thank you.
Fifth arrest, 2020, possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance, sale of marijuana, 2018 disorderly conduct conviction. This was level 1.
Got a brief facts of the case is that the officers arrived at the scene, which appeared to be 4291 Notting Hill Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. They knocked on the door and didn't get a response. After a few more attempts, the officers made contact with the victim, in this case, Mykeisha, Mykeisha Worthman, Worthman. When she opened the door, the officers could notice visible injuries to her face and neck. The officers asked the victim if she was okay and what happened to her face. Miss Worthman responded that she was, and that she had gotten into a fight yesterday. The officers asked the victim who did she have a fight with, and she refused to answer initially. And then the officer asked if the person was her child's father, who created the injuries, to which she responded yes, but she did not want to give the officers the defendant's name. Our office has not been able to get in contact with the victim, Your Honor, so if we could sound for Ms. Worthman at the conclusion of the state's request, that'd be greatly appreciated. Given the age of the case and the criminal history, Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from that incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Workman? All right. Mr. Cook, any objection with the stay away and no contact?
They have been living together for 3 years, or been together for 3 years, and they have been living together since the date of this incident, with apparently without any other incident. They do share 2 minor children, one 18 months, one 2 months old. If we could get we would prefer a no further violent contact, and allow him to go back to his home.
I really wish she would show up and let us know that.
I do too. I have not been able to find her.
All right, thank you. Mr. Honeycutt, at the present time, your bond is going to be set at $1,500. That's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Mykeisha Worthman until we hear from her, and then your attorney will file a motion to amend the bond order. Until that bond order is amended, you are to have no contact with her. You have to stay 200 yards away from her. You cannot return to the same location where you live with her. If you have personal belongings, you're allowed a one-time visit to go retrieve your belongings, and then you must update the court within 30 days from today of your new mailing address. You can have contact with the 2 minor children through a third-party exchange. In other words, a third party must be involved of picking up and dropping off the children between you and Ms. Worthman. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And you are to attend and complete a 1-day anger awareness program with pretrial services. If courtroom 2 would please unmute.
Yes, Your Honor. At the address, the address is listed in my name. That's where I pay rent at. I'm renting out the house. And if you need to get in contact with Miss Mykeisha Workman,
She has my phone, which you can call her at 404-645-9166. And you can talk to her there. I'm pretty sure she'll let you know everything that's going on. It's really,
Once you are released on the signature bond, you can communicate with your attorney.
yes.
But until then, you're not to have any contact with her. And like I said, the no contact can be amended. And since the home that you share with Miss Worthman is under your name, you're still required to stay away. And if you want her out of the house, you would need to file a dispossessory proceeding. Thank you.
Your Honor, set a level 1.
Level 1, yes,
Thank
please.
you.
Next, we have position number 2, Mr. Clark.
This is the one that I actually have to interview, so I can be called.
Okay. Is this through an interpreter or just
Your
a
Honor.
separate interview?
Separate interview because he was in felony court while we were going through the interview.
Okay.
So I had to
So let me see. Miss Deputy will need to put Mr. Clark aside, maybe in a separate courtroom, or maybe Miss Kim can call the jail court to speak with him over the phone, and we can take
Yes.
another case.
Yes, Ms. Kim.
There's another individual who is here on iPhone. She put a chat in something about getting her money back. That person would need to contact the Victim Advocates Division in order to proceed with that claim. All right, but otherwise you're free to go.
All right. Next, we have position number 10, Mr. Miller.
This is State versus Gregory Miller, charged with battery family violence from January 21st, 2024. Mr. Miller, your case number is 24CR458F. You've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Keith Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2013 battery, cruelty in the first. That was out of Gwinnett. Jail was a recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1742 Willis Mill Road, where they spoke to the victim, a Miss Judy Gay. She advised that she is the grandmother of the defendant. There was some type of altercation at their home where the defendant did strike his grandmother in the eye, causing a laceration that was observed by the officer. The state is seeking a $1,500 surety bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I'm not sure if Miss Gay is on the line, but we would sound for Miss Judy Gay.
All right, I don't hear anyone. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask the court to accept the pretrial recommendation.
All right. The bond is going to be set at $2,000. This is a signature bond. Oh, I saw. No, I got a little, it was a surety bond that the state was asking, but pretrial recommended a signature bond. I'm issuing a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services. Mr. Miller, you can sign up for your bond today. However, you are to have no further contact with Judy Gay. You cannot return to the 1742 Willis Mill Road location. You can go there one time only with a police officer to retrieve your personal belongings. That visit cannot exceed 1 hour. After that, you are to stay 200 yards away from that location and from your grandmother, Judy Gay. You're not to contact her in any way, form, or manner, including in person, through a third party, a phone, a letter, an email, or even on social media. Your next court date will be sent to your new address. You'll be required to give that to us within 30 days of being released. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, and no weapons. Thank you.
Next, we have position number 11, Mr. Parker.
Mr. Eric Parker II is case 24 CR 465E. Incident date is January 21st, 2024. The allegations are battery, family violence against an individual who's pregnant, and cruelty in the third degree.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Jay's case. Jay Kim, I think she's interviewing right now.
Is she still interviewing? Okay.
I think so.
What's your next case, Mr. Tai?
I don't have any so far. I'm hoping there's an add-on for one of my cases, but it's not ready yet.
Deputy, is there Connor Nguyen available?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Tran, I do see you, but do not start your audio yet. Mute your screen. Mute your screen. Ms. Tran, please mute. All right. I'm sorry, Deputy, I couldn't hear that. Was Connor Nguyen available?
Yes.
That's also Jay's case.
Oh, I thought you said the add-on was yours.
No, I think I'm gonna have one more on the add-on, but not yet.
I don't have an additional add-on, only Connor Nguyen.
I know, I'm just
Okay.
hoping.
Miss-
But there is an add-on case number 3 that's
Denzel Williams.
Yes, I have
Right.
add-on number 3, Mr. Williams.
Those are sexual battery cases, so I assume we're gonna say those to the end of the calendar after the courtroom is cleared.
Okay.
All right, in that case, then, Mr. Cook, do you have any cases in courtroom 2?
I only have Mr. Williams, and I'd put in a memo about putting him to the end of the calendar. I have Mr. Zhang, G-E-N-G, but he waived, and he'll have to be, and that should be discussed even in breakout with his absence at the end of the calendar, I think best. I don't know. I don't see.
What about Hunt?
I'm sorry?
Did we do number 9?
Who is
No,
that?
Well, I see Jay put in the chat that you have Hunt Cook, so
I don't have Hunt, no.
And if I could just chime in, Cunningham.
Wait a minute.
All right,
I'm sorry.
guys,
I'm
stop.
sorry. Tony Hunt bonded, is my understanding. But I'll yield to the gentleman.
Tony Hunt. Deputy Morris, is Tony Hunt in the courtroom?
No. Tony
Female.
Hunt is not in the courtroom now.
All right, so we are waiting on Miss Kim. Is she on the
Oh,
phone
no.
or is she on a breakout?
She's on the phone.
All right.
And I believe the case Miss Atai was referencing is I'm not even gonna butcher it. Last name Cunningham. He was accused. He does have a CR number, so I don't know if he's in the courtroom, but I'm prepared.
Cunningham. Hold on 1 second.
All right, Mr. Cook, your client Tony Hunt has been released.
Yes, okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Released today.
And that is position number 9.
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right, but we have a Cunningham.
All right, let's see. We are on the add-on calendar. And we have 3 cases on the add-on calendar. And this is, where is Cunningham?
I don't see Cunningham.
He's not on there.
No.
All right, there's no Cunningham on
Okay.
the calendar.
All right,
Is Miss Kim ready? Miss J. Kim?
Yes, I am ready.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have seated in courtroom 2 again, please?
Mr. Parker, position number 11.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Parker, I've already advised you of your case number, your charges, and your rights. Mr. Howard, and excuse me, and your attorney is Ms. Kim. Ms. Kim, we are on position number 11. Eric
Yes.
Parker the second.
Yes.
And Mr. Howard, any priors?
I got a 23 CP 220669 ag assault with a deadly weapon. 2 counts of simple battery, 23 CR 004755E. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1341 East Washington, where they met with the victim and Miss Sierra Parker. From my understanding, I believe that it's the defendant's sister. She is also 8 months pregnant. They were having some type of disagreement in the home where the defendant physically attacked his sister. I believe the sister had to go to the kitchen and get out a frying pan to protect herself. At that time, the defendant did pull out a rifle and go outside of the home where he was greeted by law enforcement. The state is asking for a $10,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, stay away from the instant location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we would sound for the victim, Miss Sierra Parker. I do believe she is on the line.
Sierra Parker, if you'd like to address the court, you need to unmute and start your video.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
All right, you need to start your video.
Yes, ma'am. All I had to say was that I did not want
I cannot have you address the court until you start your video.
oh, sorry, it's okay.
All
Cause
right,
I don't have a camera.
all right, thank you. Miss Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is actually only 19 years old, Your Honor, and he is working at nightclub, Bonfire. That's what's the name of the nightclub. He parks the cars and he's been working there, gainfully employed. He completed up to 9th grade in the high school. He is trying to finish up his GED. And my client has a different story. He says that it was her who hit him first with a pot. He was hit with a pot on his head and face.
With a what? With a pot?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And my client was actually defending himself out of self-defense. He just wanted to push her away from him so that he doesn't want to get hit by her. So we would like to request for a signature on bond, pretrial level 3. I do understand there are 2 open cases, but he is presumed to be innocent, and he is willing to do one-day anger awareness classes, so that way he can get signature on bond. He will get out of the place. His parents are all out of the Georgia, so his sister is the only one that he can get any help. They live together. He does need a lot of support from her. It's because he doesn't have any parents here.
But they are alive. Are you telling
Yes,
me?
they are
Okay.
alive. They are just not in Georgia.
Mhm.
In Your Honor, I have checked the victim in that aggravated assault. I do want to make the court aware that our victim, Ms. Sierra Parker, is also the victim in that aggravated assault case.
Yeah, I know
I
that.
checked the bond conditions. I didn't see a contact provision, but I do see the box checked for no weapon, drugs, or alcohol. And as I stated, this defendant was greeted outside by law enforcement with a rifle in his hand. So that's a bond violation of his felony case. And it looks like the victims in his other open case are also family members. So the state has grave concern.
And this was at the Washington Avenue location. Is that the new stay away?
Yes, I have 1341 East Washington.
I'm sorry, someone say something? All right. Mr. Eric Parker II, I'm not sure what's going on, but now you've collected a 3rd case involving alleged violence against family members. You have the 23 CR 004755E. You have the felony matter. And now this one. Your bond is going to be set on the battery against a female who is pregnant. That's going to be a $4,000 cash bond only. On the cruelty matter, it's going to be a $1,000 cash bond only. Your total bond is $5,000. That's a cash bond only. No further contact with Sierra Parker, spelled with a C. Stay away from the 1341 East Washington location. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, and weapons of any kind. You are not to return to the Washington location at all. If you make bond, you are to update the court with your new mailing address within 30 days of release. If you violate any of these conditions, the state is authorized to file a motion to revoke your bond and place you in a no bond status pending your trial. I do note that you have a court date with Judge Morrison on February 23rd, 2024 at 1 p.m. in courtroom 2F with regards to both cases. But in the meantime, you will also have a new court date of February 6th at 9 a.m. for the SAP calendar. Do we want to put both cases on the SAP calendar or let one of them move forward with Judge Morrison?
I don't think it would hurt to put them both on SAP, just out of caution.
All right. Both cases will be on the SAP calendar. This new one, 465E, and the 23CR 004755E. Thank you.
Judge, you said that kind of fast. Will you repeat those
Oh, I'm
cases?
so sorry. So this case that we have right now
Uh-huh,
is set to February 6th.
okay.
And then the other case is 23CR
Mm-hmm,
004755E.
okay.
Next case, please.
Next, we have position number 2, Mr. Clark.
And are we going in a breakout with this one, Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Oh, Ms.
Your
Kim?
Honor.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is 24CR 4591. Mr. McQuan Clark is charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, 1 count of battery against a female who's pregnant, and 3 separate counts of cruelty in the 3rd degree. This stems from a January 22nd, 2024 incident in Fulton County, Georgia. Mr. Clark, you will have been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Kim. And at your attorney's request, we are going to step aside to discuss your case. And then when we come back, I will let you know what my decision is on your bond. Will the host please place me, Ms. Kim, Mr. Walker into a breakout room, please?
It's also Mr. Pierre Thomas, please.
All right, and Mr. Pierre Thomas and Ms. Denise as well.
I will invite PD Hoda and PD Cook.
All right, let's make it a party then.
Well, that's
Mr.
what I
Cook
was
and Mr.
thinking.
Terry, please join me.
Okay, Judge.
don't see anything.
Ơi, cái đây. Nhà đấy cho thấy thôi kìa.
Recording in progress. Cái em thấy là bình thường thôi, cảm giống như nãy em thấy người khác vậy đó.
Không có chiếu được thì mình lại khỏi bên đây.
Không phải, ý là giống như nãy em cũng thấy người khác đó. Đây nè, em cũng thấy một cái người khác nữa.
Miss Tim, oh, she did. No, you're mute, you're mute.
Mở lên nghe nha.
And Mr. Pierre Thomas, you need to identify the name of the victim and the location. I didn't write those down. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, Your Honor. The name of the adult victim is Ikesia, Akeseia, last name Jackson. And the name of the three juvenile victims, they all have the same initials, which is ZK, ZK, ZK. I'm sorry, ZC, ZC, ZC.
All right. And the
location is 3718 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia.
thank you. All right, Mr. Clark, based on the information provided in the warrants and pleadings, as well as given your the voluminous open cases you have involving same or similar offenses, and as well as the arguments presented by both the state and defense, your bond is going to be set as follows. On the battery, family violence, count 1, that's going to be a $5,000 cash bond only. On the battery against a female who's pregnant, that's a $5,000 surety bond. On the 3 counts of cruelty in the third degree, that's going to be $1,000 each, and that's going to be a surety bond. Your total bond is going to be $13,000. That's a split bond, $5,000 cash and $8,000 surety. No contact with Akesia Jackson, excuse me. No contact with the 3 minor children identified as all 3 initials ZC. And no illegal drugs, no weapons, no firearms, and no alcohol. You're also to stay away from 3718 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. Your next court date is February 6th at 9 a.m.
Excuse me, Your Honor, did you want to add on there that he must stay away from children 16 years of age or younger?
I think, yeah, that would be good.
Okay, I know you had mentioned it earlier, so, okay.
And I'll be submitting MHET order for your signature, Your Honor.
That would be good. Thank you very much. Deputy, who do we have, please?
Next, we have add-on number 1.
This is State versus Connor Nguyen. And case is 24 CR 468J, accused of simple battery family violence from January 22nd, 2024. Mr. Nguyen, you have a right to, I don't know if you're in the courtroom, but you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Kim. Any priors, Mr. Howell?
No, 18 years old.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Sharon. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1855 River Falls Drive, where they spoke to the victim, a Miss Tam Tran. She is the mother of the defendant. She advised to the officer that her and her son were in a disagreement about him not attending school. During this agreement, the son/defendant became physical and pushed his mother down, pushing her out of his bedroom. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no violent contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. We are asking that he is required to remain enrolled and attend school, and a 6 p.m. curfew. I believe his mother, Ms. Tran, is on the line.
Ms. Tran, yes, if you'd like to say something, I can place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And where does he attend school?
I'm sorry?
Are you recording this proceeding?
Yes.
Are you recording it?
No, not because.
Please switch
Yeah,
off
I'm
the other,
sorry.
switch off the other device.
Okay.
Hold on.
Switch it off.
Okay, I just up right now.
Okay.
All right.
You can put your
Yeah,
hand.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
which school? You can put your hand down. Which school does he attend?
Yeah, my name Tam Tran. I'm the mom of the Connor Nguyen.
Do you speak English, Miss Tran?
No, em không đang học trường nào.
Yeah, he learned in the Sentinel High School.
Centennial High School?
Yes, ma'am.
And what grade is he in?
12.
Okay. Would you like him back in your home?
Yes, please.
Why?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm the one called the police yesterday because I'm very respect the police. That's why I think my kid will listen the police. That's the one I call the police because him don't want go school. But I want him go school because I don't want he fail for this year. That's the one. He not mean to touch me because I'm stay in the store, in the room, in the door. That's why he just want, mommy, I don't want talk with you. And he put me out the room. It's not put down. So he don't hurt me anything. And I try to call the police because I just thinking that he will listen to the police. It not mean happen. It's like that. Please let him release and be back home to be back school, please.
How old is he?
18.
No.
He just turned over 18.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Tran. You may mute your screen.
Thank you.
Miss Kim, what else?
Yes, Your Honor. She is willing to co-sign, and actually, his father, Mr. Jimmy, is on the screen as well. He is also willing to co-sign. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1. We have no objection to state's recommendation for no further violent contact. Thank you.
Mrs. Tran or Mr. Tran? If you could unmute.
Yes.
So your son is over 18 years old and he is now technically an adult. If he doesn't want to attend school, that's his right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just
there's nothing for you to apologize. I'm just letting you both know. As an Asian mother myself, I definitely want my children to attend school. And if they do not, and they're over the age of 18, I cannot force them. I'm
Okay.
Asian, just like you. And I understand how education is so important. But if your child, your son, who is now an adult, doesn't want to go to school and wants to pursue other things, that's his right. So the question becomes, if he wants to not attend school and if he wants to go down his own path, do you want him back in your home?
Yes, please.
So, but I cannot force him to go to school.
Okay.
I will talking with him. I think today, I mean
Miss
yesterday is the
Tran,
lesson.
Miss Tran, if he doesn't go to school and you think you can still persuade him and there's violence, I'm not going to let him back in your home.
No, I understand what you say. So if he don't want to go school, that's his choice. So
That's his choice. But
yeah, I don't.
you have a choice right now as to whether you want him back in your home or whether you want him to be 18 and go and find his own home and his own life.
No, I want he back to school. I mean, back to
Oh, you still don't get it. You still don't get it.
Excuse me, Judge, can I talk? I am his father. Sometimes he misunderstands about
If
the
he doesn't
language.
want to go back to school, you have a choice
I
of whether
will.
you want him back
I
at
will take
home or
care.
you want him living on the streets. What do you want to do?
I want him home, but whatever he want to do, I will okay with him. But the thing, I just want he better life, you know. But if he join another way, it's okay with me. But I still behind him to take care.
Oh, sure.
But I hope you can give him back home.
I just want you to know that that's where I'm thinking. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Kim, I'm going to do a signature bond, no violent contact, and he can return home. But if he wants to, make his own stamp in life and wants to do it on his own, that's entirely up to him. Okay, he might have to do it without his parents' funding, but then that's a different subject altogether. All right, Mr. Yuan, your bond is going to be set at $2,000. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. Your dad, Mr. Tam Tran, is that you, sir?
Yes.
No, Tam Tran is mine and Tan Nguyen is my
And
husband.
Tan Nguyen is
Tam
me.
Nguyen, okay, so Tam Nguyen, dad, is going to come and co-sign the bond.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
No
you.
violent contact with Tam Tran and Tam Nguyen. Do you have any other children?
Yes, I got another one.
Okay, just make sure there's no violent contact.
Yes.
No alcohol, no illegal drugs, and no
Yeah.
weapons and no firearms. You will
Okay, we
report to Connor is going to report to pretrial services once a month. And while he's out on a signature bond, he's going to attend and complete a domestic violence intervention program. That's a 24-week domestic violence counseling program. And if you don't attend school, that's entirely up to you. But whether you attend school or not, you'll be required to attend the domestic violence program. That is a 24-week program, and you begin those classes within 30 days of being released on bond. Do you understand, Connor? Yes? If you get arrested again, if you don't report to pretrial, or if you don't enroll those classes, or if you have any violent contact with any members of your household, including your parents, just make sure that you come back to jail. Otherwise, we have you arrested, and then your bond will be revoked, and you get to spend the rest of the time with us. Entirely up to you. Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, how is the father spelling his name?
Yes, it's Tam, T-A-M.
Uh-huh.
Last name just like his son, Nguyen.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Next, we have add-on number 2, Mr. Thomas.
This is State versus Gregory Deontay Thomas, case number 24 CR 466G. Mr. Thomas is charged with simple battery from January 22nd, 2024. Mr. Thomas, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Miss Kim. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And any priors with regards to Mr. Thomas?
Fourth arrest, 2019 FTA. A couple of arrests from 2017 driving related.
Okay,
Level 1.
thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Sean. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 336 Joseph E. Lowry. It was a retail location where they met with the victim, Miss Beauty Fontilius. She was inside the location with her and the defendant. I'm not even sure. I think it was unprovoked, actually. The defendant walked past her and punched her in the head, causing her to fall down to the ground. The state is seeking a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location, a 2-day anger awareness course, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay. I have a, does he have a signature bond that's been revoked?
Let me see.
I have a pretrial release signature bonds. I don't know if that was the UJR. This is from April 2nd, 2019, or is that case closed because of the FTA?
I don't know. I never saw it.
Let me
I'll
see.
look it up real quick.
I have a $10,000
What's the charge?
of
Hold on.
it's a traffic matter, like you said, from failure to appear from April 1st, 2019. Unless it's already been closed out by an arrest. Gosh, it was signed by Judge Caudle back in 2019. She's not even with the courts anymore. Driving while license suspended or revoked, willful obstruction and theft by receiving stolen property, 18 SC 159918.
That was a dead docket.
All right. Thank you.
From the odyssey that I see, Your Honor, it is closed.
Okay, just want to be sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else to add, Ms. Kim?
No, no objection, except that 1-day anger awareness course, unless pretrial offers 2-day anger awareness course without any extra charge.
Okay. The bond is going to be set at $2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services. And he is to have no contact with, I think her name is Beauty, Beauti, Fontilus, Fontilus, to stay away from the incident location. No alcohol, no drugs, and no illegal drugs and no weapons and firearms. And he's to also attend and complete the 1-day anger awareness. He's also required to report to pretrial once a month and maintain a current mailing address with the court at all times. Mr. Thomas, you've got a prior failure to appear. I'm just going to give you a heads up. If you do not show up for pretrial meetings or if you fail to appear in court, this $2,000 signature bond will be revoked and converted to either a surety bond or a cash bond. So please be sure to appear and remember to stay away from the victim and the incident location in this case. Thank you.
Hey, Your Honor, we still haven't received the additional calendar for Cunningham, Priester, and Robinson. We still haven't received that additional calendar.
Okay. Do we have position 3 though on the add-on? Denzel Williams?
Yes, ma'am, but he's in the courtroom. Do you want us to clear the courtroom for his case?
Oh, no. We can take the next case that's, let me see what else is left on the calendar. Then we can get to the last case. Mikhail Cole. Oh, Michael Cole. I'm not sure.
Oh, he posted bond.
Okay, so he's released? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then that gets us to Chi Shin Gang, position 6.
That's a breakout, Your Honor.
All right, so 6 is a breakout. And then we have Roderick Harris, position 7. Roderick Harris, deputy.
stand by, we have to get him.
Okay,
I was told that we have no conflict attorneys today, so we're gonna have to reset him for tomorrow. He
okay,
was on the calendar yesterday, however, we didn't have any conflict attorneys yesterday either.
all right, if you can get him, I'm going to go ahead and address that case. We need to set a bond.
Okay.
Okay,
I think the bond was set, Your Honor.
it was set on yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I know some judges reset the case in order for the conflict to show up, but,
And that's what happened yesterday, however, we still don't have one today.
okay. And this was Roderick Harris, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the bond amount? And is the reset date still February 6th? $10,000 good bond, okay. Deputy,
Yes, ma'am.
don't worry about Roderick Harris. He's already got a bond. His next court date's February 6th, and there shall be no more resets. Thank you. Miss Tran, you're free to go. You're free to go. You can leave the Zoom. Thank you. Okay, so Roderick Harris has already been reset to February 6th, and we're going to keep it there. Anyone else? This is February 6th already. And then, so that's it. I have, why do I have so many people in the courtroom then?
Because, we still have 3 that we haven't received the calendar for, and then plus we got 1 I gotta take out.
So Robinson has been filed down. I don't know if Miss Bridgewater can check on getting a CR number for us, pretty please, but Robinson has been filed down.
So has Cunningham.
And so has Cunningham.
Robinson and Cunningham. Okay.
And I believe Cunningham has a CR number.
All right. All right, let's do a breakout for position 6. And maybe we'll come back and we'll be able to deal with Cunningham and Robinson.
In the meantime, I'll check on those to see if we have them ready to go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
I guess we have Cunningham, Robinson, and Williams, correct? These are the 3 I'm still waiting to address. Cunningham, Robinson, and Williams is position 3 on the add-on, and I don't know how many cases he's got, but Miss, is it Miss Grace who's hosting?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, should I just go back into the same breakout room?
You can, I can set up another one. It doesn't matter. All the participants are going back into that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same one. So folks, if you look at the 3 dots on your Zoom screen, it will just say join breakout room and you can go back to the same breakout room.
Your Honor, I would ask to include the client's mother. She's on the video, and she has some important information we would need.
Is that Motorola Moto G?
Yes,
Okay. And what's your name, please?
Felicia Cunningham.
All right.
No,
That's not the mom for that case. We're
Okay, I'm
talking
sorry.
about Chi Shin Gang.
So this will mute it into the comment.
Okay, let's go ahead and mute Motorola, Miss Cunningham, please. All right,
It's-
I have Chi Ying Guo.
Yeah, that's me.
All right,
Okay.
we are going to put you into the breakout room.
Okay.
So, Miss Grace, Miss Guo, you'll have to put her in the same breakout room, and I'm going into the breakout room that all of us were in before.
Before we leave, Your Honor, the names that we needed to check on, Cunningham, and who were the other 2 people?
Cunningham, Robinson, and Williams. Williams is position 3, and I've got a message on the chat that he's got a second case, so I don't know what that. This is from ASG Denise. So if you have a second case, Miss Denise, you can give it to Miss Holly Bridgewater. All right, I'm going to the breakout room. I'm leaving. Bye.
We still need Miss Priester.
Miss
No,
Brooks?
that will be an NOD.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, you said you wanted the defendant's mother in the breakout room?
Yes, please, Miss Guo,
Okay.
Guo.
Okay. Hey, Holly. Oh, Lord, I'm laughing. Oh, God, I'm about to start laughing. Hey, Holly.
You already
You
laughing.
unmuted. I
Yes,
know.
yes, you gonna let me in?
Go down to the bottom since we're going back into the same one. Go down to the bottom and it's going to tell you where the breakout was and say rejoin. Because I can't put you in there because I didn't close it out and you're already in there.
Come on, babe. Come on. April to the rescue.
Okay.
Go down where it says leave. You should be able to join it. 1 minute. No, where you'll break up. Put the mute thing in. Okay. Yeah, so they gonna be hearing me. Wait a minute.
Y'all got it.
All right, Mr. Howard and courtroom 2, with regards to position 6, in which appearance has been waived, State versus Chi Shin Geng. Mr. Geng has received a $20,000 signature bond through pretrial services, telephonic reporting only, and he will be released to Shin Jingguo to be transported to a facility called the Cottages, and other restrictions as well. Thank you. That leaves us
I'm sorry, Judge, that was,
20,000 signature bond through pretrial.
What was that level?
Level 1, telephone reporting only. Okay, now, going back to the add-on, we have, I still have 3 cases on the add-on. We've addressed position number 1, position number 2, we've addressed position number 3. Denzel Williams.
Yes, that's mine, Your Honor. That will need a clear courtroom if it pleases the court, but I think.
And Ms. Bridgewater, Mr. Williams has a second case that we're waiting for, a CR number 4.
Can we do this in a breakout?
I have no objection. I don't know.
Well, we would
Okay.
like it to be recorded, so usually we stop the live stream and still maintain the recording.
Okay, then that case, in addition to Williams, then we have Cunningham and Robinson. Any progress on their accusations?
Robinson, it's been filed. We're just waiting for. You're on mute, Ms. Bridgewater.
I was going 100 miles an hour too. Okay, so Mr. Williams has another case, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'm gonna check on the status of Robinson and the other case.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
give me just a second, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Oh, shoot. I was going to go over the calendar, but Miss Bridgewater is busy. So we'll be in recess until we find out what happened to these 3 cases. Thank you. Miss Grace, can we record a breakout session?
I'm not sure, Judge. I can ask Mr. Jordan. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Miss Bridgewater?
Yes, I was asked to ask you all to give him 5 more minutes. Mr. Jordan is working on it, so just
Okay.
a few more minutes.
Do we have CR numbers for these cases, by the way?
He's working on getting them right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
While he's working on that, shall we just go over the calendar and see what we have so far?
That'll be fine, Your Honor.
Okay. Position number 1, Butler was a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for the notice. Position number 2 is a $13,000 split bond, 5,000 of which is cash only, and that's reset to February 6th. Position number 3, Michael Cole has been released. Position number 4, Heaven Coleman is a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial for the notice. Position 5, Collins is a $10,000 cash bond only, reset February 6th. Position 6 is a $20,000 signature bond through pretrial, telephone reporting only, and that's for the notice. Position 7, Roderick Harris, and that is going to be I think that was a release as well. Oh, no, that's reset to February 6th. He's got a
Yes.
$10,000 good bond.
Right,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
good.
one set from yesterday that we were
Yeah.
waiting on. Okay.
That's February 6th. Position 8, Honeycutt is a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial. Position 9, Hunt, is released. Position 10, Miller, is a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position 11 is a $5,000 cash bond only, 4-in-1, and that's reset to February 6th. And then on the add-on calendar, position 1, Connor Wynn, is a, I can't remember $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Position 2, Thomas, is a $2,000 signature bond to pretrial. Then I have Williams, where I have 2 cases. And then I have Cunningham and Robinson, all pending CR numbers.
That's correct.
Okay. We will hold. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and Miss Grace, let me know if you can record a breakout session. That might help move things along.
Will do, Judge.
In the alternative, we can pause the recording on the main session and just record the breakout. Okay?
So you mean in the recording of the live, Judge?
The recording. We can pause the recording on the main session and just record the breakout for position for Williams. Still waiting to check on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Miss Grace, do we have any progress on these 1, 2, 3, 4 cases? Okay.
Mr. Jordan is still working on them, but I'm dialing you now, Judge.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to proceed with the Cunningham case. Is that the one with Miss Felicia Cunningham? All right, Mr. Cook? Or Miss Kim? Who's the defense attorney?
It's mine.
Is Miss Ate? Okay. Miss Grace is going to put us in a breakout room along with Motorola Moto G. Miss Bridgewater, that's going to be a brand new breakout room. So don't try to get into a breakout room. She'll put us in one. And then Mr. Pierre Thomas, I'll need the booking number for Cunningham as well once we get in.
Okay.
All right, Miss Felicia Cunningham, please mute your screen until you're told to unmute, please. Thank you.
So is everyone going in the breakout room?
Yes.
Okay.
And Cunningham is listed on Odyssey now. So it's under 24 CR 469E. 000 469E.
I need to go in the breakout room.
All right. Deputy, do we have a Cunningham in the courtroom?
Yes, he's right here.
All right. This is State versus Juandravius Cunningham, case number 24 CR 0000469E. Mr. Cunningham is accused of battery, family violence, and this is from January 3rd, 2024. Mr. Cunningham, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Hoda Atayi. Mr. Howard, any priors for Mr. Cunningham that you know of?
Not I know of. I'll refer to the state.
All right. Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Mr. Cunningham was actually on yesterday. He has a prior open case for simple battery family violence, and then he picked up the case from yesterday, which would have been, I believe, 24 CR 000440E. He does have. This is a different victim in this case. But the brief facts of the case is that the victim in this case is a 3-year-old. I'll refer to her as DC by the initials. The juvenile's mother was the reporting party. She's 25 years old. Her name is Anisha Cunningham. The witness in this case is the 51-year-old Felicia Cunningham. Basically, the facts are that on January 3rd, Anisha made contact with the police regarding a dispute call. The witness, Felicia, was on the scene as well. Felicia stated that her son, the defendant, was upset with her because she would not allow his girlfriend to be at the house. A verbal argument took place, at which point he picked up a paperweight and threw it towards the juvenile victim, DC, hitting her in the mouth. Officers observed a cut to the bottom lip and chin area of victim DC. It was stated that he did it intentionally because the juvenile got involved in the dispute that was happening. And I guess the indicia for the family violence is that they at some point lived at the same residence. Miss Cunningham, I do believe, is on, and so not the victim in this case, but a representative of the juvenile victim. So we'll give her an opportunity to speak. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, in this particular case is a $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of an anger management course. I would like to notate, though, however, based on some statements that were made yesterday in court, there are some unique circumstances as it relates to him being in custody. And so I think maybe Ms. Cunningham may flesh that out. I'm not sure what her intentions or her desires are, but if at this time we can sound for her, that'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, Ms. Cunningham, if you want to unmute.
Yes,
All right, if you please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
yes.
And what's your name?
Felicia Cunningham.
And how do you know this gentleman, Juandravius Cunningham?
That's my son, Juandravius Cunningham.
And do you live with him?
Yes, he lives with me, yes.
What would you like to tell us?
Well, actually, what happened was me and him had a little argument or whatever. My little granddaughter that they's talking about, Dakota, when she seen us arguing, so she was right there. But he had his baby in his hand in the baby bag. He was actually at the door. I was in like the little den area. So when I was coming around, she ran towards me and her mouth was bleeding. So I was like, what happened? And she just called his name. So me thinking, I assumed, I didn't see him do it, I assumed. But she came back and she said she picked up the thing. It wasn't a paperweight. It was like a little porcupine statue. It was a little porcupine statue that was sit on the table. And she said she felt. So when I seen her mouth, me personally, I assumed. Never seen him through it, never seen, I was upset or whatever. And but he was actually gone. When I walked out the door, when I seen him, he was actually gone. So the officer that came out, he asked me what I wanted to do with the case. And I told him I was not trying to pursue the case or whatever. But like with yesterday when he got he got locked up and they, I guess, gave him a signature bond and he was getting ready to come home. That's when this warrant popped up. I never knew it was a warrant because we never went and did anything. We didn't go pick up the police report. We never pursued it. So I never knew it was a warrant that was actually on him.
All right. Ms. Tate?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 23 years old, and the circumstances that the state brought up is that he was arrested when the police responded to a call about his 6-month-old. He has 2 6-month-old twins, and one passed away the day before yesterday. That's why the police were there, because the child died while in the bed. The officer ran and found the warrant that he appeared for yesterday and arrested him. And then he was supposed to be released last night, and they found this warrant. So he's here on that. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He was working at the Atlanta airport. He got a signature bond through the jail yesterday because of the circumstances here. His child just died. He has another one in the hospital with COVID right now. The other 6-month-old twin. I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail so that he can, be there for his family. His child just died 2 days ago. And I would ask if there's any kind of stay away, or no stay away, but a no further violent contact so that the family can be together, for the funeral with this other sick child at the hospital. And due to the circumstances here, with the mother stating that it was a misunderstanding of what a 3-year-old, called out his name, and she told the police she didn't want to do anything, I would ask for a signature bond through the jail.
So let me get this straight. Miss, your name is Felicia Cunningham,
Yes,
and the mother of the child is Anisha Cunningham.
yes, she's here also.
And the police came to the scene on January 3rd, 2024.
Yes, when he got there, Anasia Cunningham was actually at work when all of this took place. She wasn't home, she was at work.
And the police officer who filled out the warrant with the body cam and the audio and video swore to the judge that he spoke to both Felicia Cunningham and Anisha Cunningham.
Yes, because I called Anasia. She was at work. I called Anasia. So she got off work early. So it took the police like 2 hours to get there. So by the time he got there, she had done made it home from work. But when all of that took place, she was at work.
And do you remember what you told the officer?
Yes,
on
I told her.
recording?
Ma'am,
On
I'm sorry.
recording. On recording. Do you remember what you told the officer?
I told him that Dakota, my granddaughter, said his name. So, like I said, I didn't see him throw it. I didn't see him physically throw nothing at her. But when she ran to me, her mouth was bleeding. And I also told him by the time I got to the door, she was gone. I mean, he was gone.
I'm sorry, that's not what I'm reading on the warrant.
That's what I told the police. I told him, and he asked to see the little statue thing, the paperweight and all that. I don't know where that came from because it's not a paperweight.
I don't know. No, I don't need to hear anymore. Miss Ate, I'm really confused. I read this warrant earlier, now I'm hearing this different version, so I'm really perplexed. Do we have an incident report or anything at this time? I have a totally different version of events.
Your Honor, to be honest, I haven't
warrant.
seen the warrant because of I'm not able to find the warrant in Odyssey. So
Can I have screen share rights, please, Miss Grace? I mean, I have a sworn warrant affidavit by the officer who not only was at the scene, but who executed the warrant before the magistrate.
And I guess I'll be able to see it now.
As soon as I get screen share rights, yeah. I'm sorry, Miss Grace, can you switch off your screen share and yeah, you need to give me, you've put your screen on screen share, but I need to put my screen. So if you can switch off your screen share, just close out your screen share. Yeah, and then if you can give the participant screen share right.
Okay, Judge, hold on just a second. And I don't even see that.
Nope, nope, you are back on screen share. You need to close out your screen share.
Okay, just a second, Judge.
Ah, there we
Judge,
go.
I'm done. Okay.
All right. This is the warrant for the arrest for Mr. John Davis Cunningham. Under probable cause, it says witness Felicia Cunningham was on scene, stated her son John Davis was upset with her because she would not allow his girlfriend to be at the house. During the verbal dispute, Felicia said John Davis picked up an object described as a paperweight and threw it towards Dakota, hitting her in the mouth. Felicia said John Davis did this intentionally because Dakota spoke out and made a comment towards him, which interrupted their dispute. It seems like there was some kind of argument going on with more than just so it's a totally different version of events than what Miss Cunningham is testifying about today. And there's clearly a dispute. I don't know what is going on, but right now that's the probable cause that we have for his arrest.
Yes, Your Honor, and I understand that I mean, sometimes the warrant is stated in the way that that's what the police officer said. These are just alleged incidents. I would like to state that my client, again, he's 23 years old. His baby died 2 days ago. That's when he was arrested, when he made contact with the police officer. I believe the same one. He's a lifelong resident of Georgia. He was recently laid off from his construction job at the airport. He and his family cannot afford a bond. They're right now dealing with the death of the baby. The other baby's sick in the hospital with COVID. I would like to request a signature bond through the jail. If he's reset to the SAP calendar, his baby will have been buried by then. He will not be able to go to the funeral. He will not be able to be there with his family. He will be sitting in the jail grieving. So I would like to request a signature bond through the jail. He's not a flight risk. His family has all stated to me that they want contact with him. They're not afraid of him. And he's not a danger to the public.
Okay. So we have one case, which is this one. 24 CR 469E. from an incident from January 3rd, 2024. We have a second case, 24 CR 440E, from an incident of July 8th, 2023. We have a third case, 23 CR 2130, from April 8th, 2023. These are 3 battery family violence cases involving Mr. Cunningham in less than a 12-month period. I am seriously struggling to find out why this person should be out back in the community. I understand the tragedy that struck him, but he's not in jail because of what we did. He's in jail because there are 3 criminal charges pending against him, battery family violence, in a space of less than 12 months. I understand the family, if they want to protect him, I understand the family wants him back. But I have serious concerns given this rapidity of violent cases. Bond is set at $3,000 surety bond. No contact with Dakota Cunningham. He's not to return to the family home. He's not to have any contact with the minor child. No illegal drugs, no weapons, no firearms. Next court date's February 6th, and we can place the other 2 cases on the SAP calendar as well, which is 24 CR 000440E, 24 CR 00469E, 23 CR 002130E. Thank you. Did I address both cases with Mr. No, that was just that Cunningham case. Okay. Then I have another case with 2 cases.
Robinson.
With Robinson. I think we've addressed the Williams case, so now
Correct. I think Mr. Robinson only had 1 case though.
all right, so that's position 3 on the add-on calendar. State versus Sequoia Robinson.
Mrs. Robinson, I'm sorry.
Mrs. Robinson, excuse me. Miss Robinson's case number is 24 CR 000470F. And she's accused of battery, simple battery against a person who's 65 years or older or who is pregnant, and 1 count of battery from a July 22nd, 2024 incident. Ms. Robinson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is going to be Ms. Kim.
Oh, it's my cue.
Yes, Mr. Howard?
11 total, 2023 suspended license. Got an open CP, ag assault, a deadly weapon. 22 CP 209320. Got a 2017 battery that was DWAP, 2016 FTA. 2012 ag assault, ag battery, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. First offender.
What's the first offender? Okay.
Yes, Sean, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1106 Osborne Street, where they spoke to the 3 victims. The first victim, his name is Mr. Kenneth Gary. I believe that is the uncle of the defendant. The second victim, her name is Lillian Morgan. I believe she's an aunt to the defendant. And the third victim is Miss Cinderia. I think she's on the line.
Yep, Cinderia Robinson?
Yeah, Miss Cinderia Robinson. She's also an aunt. It looks like their niece, for whatever reason, attacked them with a metal cane, causing lacerations and bleeding to Mr. Gary and Miss Robinson. And then she spat on her third aunt, Miss Cinderia Robinson. Miss Lillian Morgan. We're asking for a $1,500 surety bond on each count. Stay away from the incident location. No contact with all 3 victims. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. We'll sound for Miss Cinderia Robinson.
Did you say 15,000 or 1,500 on each count?
1,500 on each count.
1,500. Okay, thank you. Miss Robinson, if you'd like to address the court, I will need to place you under oath.
Okay,
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
yes.
All right. How do you know Miss Sequoia Robinson?
She's my niece, my sister's daughter.
And which one is your sister? What's the mother's name?
My sister's deceased.
I
Lydia Morgan is my mom, which is her grandmother, not her auntie.
I see. So that's her grandmother.
Yes,
All right. And Kenneth Gary?
that's her great uncle,
All right. Your grandmother, your mom's brother.
brother. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
all right. And how is it that all of you are in the same house?
My grandmother kids usually come and visit her on Mondays and have dinner or whatever. So Monday at my grandmother's at 1106 Osborne Street is like a gathering on Mondays.
Okay. And what would you like to tell us?
That this totally could have been avoided. I'm just now leaving the hospital. I had a slight head injury along with the pipe that bruises and contusions on the side that I just got dismissed from Kaiser, just got released from Kaiser about 15 minutes ago. And it could have been really avoided because my grandmother, who was 94, asked her to leave and she didn't. So when my mom, who is 70, Lydia Morgan, asked her to leave, she didn't. So I asked her, and then she swung the pipe and pretty much she was arguing with my uncle. And I'm sitting, my back was turned. I'm talking to him. As I'm turning around.
Miss Sandaria? So
Yes.
You're asking that she not go back to the to your to Osborne Street, and that she stay away from all the family members concerned. Would that be correct?
Yes, and my daycare center because she told me she'll burn it down last night.
All right. And what is that address?
1924 Sylvan Road.
This one. Sylvan Road. All right. Thank you, Miss Robinson. Miss Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 33 years old. She lost her mother on 2019. Her mother was murdered, and I think that caused a lot of anxieties and concerns and grieving. Your Honor, my client says differently. Actually, she said she was attacked by the pipe herself. She's claiming self-defense and she's denying the allegation. Your Honor, she has 5 minor children, Your Honor, 8 to 17 years old, and they have to go to school. They have to be with their mother. And because she does not even have any child support from children's father. She's working as a cashier at Burger King. She started that job about 3 weeks ago. So she does not want to lose that job. She cannot afford to lose the job because right now she has not been able to get food stamp from September 2023. And she does not have enough income to take care of the minor children. She graduated from high school, and we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 2.
Okay.
We have no objection to stay away and no further contact with everybody there.
And I just like to point out she's already out on bond on an aggravated assault for $15,000 surety bond.
Understood. On each count is going to be a $2,000 surety bond. The total bond is set at $6,000. No further contact with Kenneth Gary, Lillian Wareham, and
Morgan.
Cinderia Robert. I'm sorry, did I get that right?
Lillian Morgan.
Oh, Lillian Morgan and Cinderia Robinson to stay away from the Osborne Street location, 1106 Osborne Street, and also to stay away from 1924 Sylvan Road in Atlanta, Georgia. No illegal drugs, no weapons, no firearms, and no alcohol. In the event that Miss Robinson does make bond, she's to make sure that she stays 200 yards away from all these locations and these individuals and to not contact them in any way, form, or manner. We can unmute courtroom 2. Ms. Robinson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. I highly recommend, given the nature of the charges brought against you and in addition to your open cases, that you exercise your right to remain silent. but then again, it's up to you. Would you like to remain silent?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Kim, I'm sorry, Ms. Robinson, your next court date will be February 6th.
What was that bond amount?
It's
No, it was a good
$2,000
bond.
surety each, so it's $6,000 surety bond. All right, I think just to go over the remainder of the cases, on the Williams case, it was 2,500 surety bond on each count. So I think his total was 7,500 surety, reset February 6th. On Robinson, it's a $6,000 surety bond, reset February 6th. And on Cunningham, it was a $3,000 surety bond, reset February 6th. All right, Deputy, is it Deputy Norris there?
Deputy Gopi.
Oh, yes, sir. Have I any other cases to address?
Yes, we have, add-on, 5 and 6, Mr. Williams.
Oh, we already addressed that. That wasn't a breakout. Is he there?
Yes, he's right here.
Okay, you can bring him out and tell him about his bond. Mr. Williams, you have 2 open cases with the State Court of Fulton County that were just accused today. First of all, I'd like to remind you, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and your counsel is going to be Mr. Keith Cook. With regards to both these 2 new cases, the case number, first one is 24 CR 000-467C, in which you have been accused of 2 misdemeanor offenses, which your attorney has informed you about. In the second case, 24 CR 000-471C, you've been accused of 1 misdemeanor offense, the same offense of which your attorney has informed you. On each of these 3 offenses, you've received a $2,500 surety bond, which means your total bond is $7,500 surety. You are to stay away from all Georgia State University property, which means that you have to stay 200 yards away from any building that belongs to this Georgia State University facility. You're also to stay away from Trinity Meekin, Mackenzie Simon, and Azaria Olali, which are the 3 alleged victims from these 2 cases. You're not to communicate with them in any way, form, or manner, and you're to stay 200 yards away from them. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. Thank you. Oh, your next court date for both these cases is February 6, 2024. All right, Deputy, I believe that concludes the cases.
Yes, it does.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We will see you later then. Thank you. All right, folks, I think everybody's got the update on the calendar. So, Ms. Bridgewater?
Give me a minute, Judge. It's been
All
a
right.
lot of
Take
I
your
get
time.
it to you as quickly as I can.
Take your time. All
Okay.
right, everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.